Hey, good afternoon. Greg Winch with the LCP, joining you on a rainy Sunday afternoon, live from the garage. A little messy, but actually a lot of stuff going on in here. So today I wanted to concentrate on talking about one of the things that's really important to us as sea kayakers, and that's safety equipment. Today's concentration will be on safety tow lines. So I'm going to be talking about one brand in particular. I'm not sponsored by these guys. I've used a whole lot of different tow line rigs over the past few years as not only an instructor but also just an avid sea kayaker. And I found one that satisfies all the criteria that I look for in terms of the ease of use, ease of deployment, durability, and price point. So we're going to be talking about a North Water rig today. It is what's called a dynamic tow line system, and we'll get into some of the innards of that and explain that in a little bit. So this is my go-to rig, and what I really like about this guy is that it's super easy to use. It's not very heavy. I think it weighs about 598 grams. It comes in two sizes, so this is a 35. It also comes in a 50, and actually the 50 is approved lengthwise by the United States Coast Guard as being a buoyant device. It's actually called a buoyant heaving line, and it meets the requirements of boats up to 20 feet. So 49, I think it's 49.7, 49.2, or 15 meters in length. That's the line that would need to be on a boat, a craft, that a sailboat or a powerboat that is up to 20 feet. So obviously we're working with sea kayaks along the boat that I have 17 foot and on the motor. But nonetheless, the bag is available from Amazon.com. You can get it directly from North Water's website, which I actually have up on the screen right here to give you some particulars about it. Price point is about $115 US. So you might say to yourself, well, that's a lot of money for a throw bag, or a tow belt rather. It's not a throw bag, but it could be used in that respect if it was, 50 foot versus 35 foot. Again, you get what you pay for in this business for sure. Features that I like about this, obviously, is the durability. The design is more of like a taco design. So when I'm actually wearing this guy around my waist, so I'm going to go ahead and just put this guy on like I would normally do it. So when I put this on, you can see this. I'm just going to drop the camera angle down just a little bit. There we go. So I have a quick release. I thread it through here. Then I take the snap shut. You'll notice that there's a little red ball on that. Actually, it's not red, it's a black ball. It's red on my whitewater stuff. So this little black ball is a quick release. So when I'm normally wearing this, I like to have it around so that it's in front of me, so I have the entire belt available for me to open up and deploy. The little ball is there for me in case I need to quickly release the system for me. So let's just say something's going wrong and I need to get away from what it is that I'm towing. I can just pull on this, and then the whole unit comes apart. That's an extremely important thing, and that's what separates this as being a piece of rescue equipment versus just a novice rescue device. In fact, if you go to the North Water website, you're going to see that this is rated for P and R. So P is professional and R is recreational. So this crosses the line as being recognized as being rescue grade equipment. All right, so you'll notice that on one end we've got a good carabiner. This is a stainless steel carabiner, and it actually has a little housing that it clips onto. So you can actually deploy this out of the side of the bag. You don't even have to open it up if you didn't want to. The carabiner itself, if you look on the carabiner, it is rated for 15 kilonewtons. Max weight on this that you can actually stress it out to is 15 kilonewtons. A kilonewton is equal to 225 pounds. Do the math. It's pretty strong. The knot that's on there is a double figure 8. I could actually have a stopper knot on the tail if I wanted to kind of put a single fisherman on that. When you open it, you've got 2 Velcro strips. It has mesh in the middle, so it allows it to drain out. And imagine this thing sitting on your lap. It just deploys, opens up like a taco. So, really important piece of equipment on this is these bungees, right? So then we got another double figure 8 right there, and we've got these bungees. This being dynamic means that this actually works as a shock absorber, so when you are towing somebody and you start to get that squeeze around your midsection, it's not gonna be like, oh my God, this is gonna break my ribs. This guy right here is gonna be working as an active shock absorber for the load that you are towing behind you. So this alone makes this thing so valuable. If you've ever towed somebody, the longest I've towed somebody is 4 miles. This really makes a difference. So I would definitely recommend always getting one of these guys that has some sort of an integrated dynamic system in them. The line itself, this is called H2O Pro. It is polypropylene. It is has an inner core of poly and an outer core of poly as well. This guy floats, hence the name H2 Pro. You'll notice that on the other end too. Let me go ahead and fish this up. All right, back to the carabiner or the business end. You've got also some mini cell. So this mini cell actually allows this to float on the water as well when this is deployed. So that's good because this is going to keep this from going and sinking, and also aid in being able to deploy it and get to somebody so it's not like going below your boat. So very good there. Stopper nut, mini cell. So one thing that I like to do with these guys is, based on the fact that this is 35 feet, sometimes you don't need that much length, right? Sometimes you just need to maybe do half the length if you want to keep somebody close to you as you're towing them. So what I usually do is I'll go ahead and I will measure about halfway out. So if you would, divide 35 in half, and I would start to put in what's called an alpine butterfly knot. So what I'm going to do is in the next video that I splice into this guy, is I'm going to teach you real quick how to do an alpine butterfly knot and how to work with another carabiner for towing. See you in the next video. Hey guys, Greg back with you. Okay, so back to our 1/4 inch H2 Pro line. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a alpine butterfly like I showed in the previous video. So that's what we're going to work with right there. Extremely strong. We've got a little port here for our carabiner so we can lock into our boat that we're going to tow or whatever it is we're towing. And it's an easy knot to break as well. So super easy to make, and we're going to go ahead and do one of those right now. Not an official knot tying class. We do have those available, but I just wanted to go over this one with you guys because it's pretty easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find the center of our line. You can go ahead and actually stagger these out if you wanted to. Maybe do 2 or 3 depending on how long the line is, but at a minimum I like to cut it at least in half. That way I don't have to worry about having somebody 35 feet behind me when I can have them, say, 15 feet behind me. A lot of consideration there has to do with the current mentation of the person that is being towed, whether or not you need to stay in earshot of them. Obviously, if you're out in a rough sea condition or a following sea, open water, say offshore, where you've got swells, you would definitely want to be at that 35-foot length. Therefore, the boats aren't actually getting on top of each other or have the propensity to get on top of each other in a swell. So again, a lot of it is based on the environment that you're working on inshore, especially within, like, say, the harbor or the rivers or lakes. Depending on conditions, I would say probably half is going to be fine. So first thing you need to do is take your line like this, and you're going to create what's called a bite. So a bite is basically just a fold in the line here, right? Okay. So what I ultimately want to end up is I want to end up with a figure 8. So for me to have a figure 8, all I need to do is really kind of twist this guy. Okay, and then, so there's my twist. You see the twist right there. And then I take a line and I cross it over. So what that gives me is a top loop and a bottom loop. The next thing I need to do is take the top loop and I'm going to fold it under and then bring it through the bottom loop. And I'll include a link that shows this a little bit better. But in the end, there we go. We have a alpine butterfly knot. Okay, so now that I've got a point of contact, what I can do is take a carabiner. All right, I carry, anyone who works with me knows that I have a bunch of these on me. This is a climbing rated carabiner. It has a kilonewton rating on it of 31. So that's, imagine that, 31 kilonewtons, 31 times 225 pounds. That's what this guy is rated for. You'll notice that this actually also has a threaded gate versus an auto-engaging gate. So what I can do with this guy now is I could go ahead and lock into this guy, and then I can actually use this and tie into a hard point on the kayak that I'm towing. So therefore I've basically reduced the length of line, half the length, so say like 15 feet, 16 feet. And what that's gonna allow me to do is keep that other kayaker close to me if I need to monitor them. If the kayaker was incapacitated, seasick, or any type of a situation where they might lose consciousness, then this is not gonna be a really good setup for me. I'm gonna wanna go to a contact tow. And I had discussed that rig a little bit earlier in another video. I'm actually going to show you how to build one of those in my next video. I'm going to make one. They're not that expensive to make. The most expensive part of it is actually getting the stainless steel carabiners, which you can get at West Marine. So they're going to kind of be like this guy, and they're rated again for about 15 kilonewtons. You're not going to surpass the working load on this at all. Main thing is to make sure that you don't skimp on the quality. They need to be stainless. The line itself, again, I said this is 1/4 inch H2 Pro. It's a sheath poly. It has a poly core and a poly sheath on the outside. The big thing about this guy is it floats. All right. It also looks like Spectra, but this guy does float. One of the things that's really nice about the H2 Pro line is it's basically rated in such a way that it's dirt and grit resistant and sand resistant. So one of the things that will kill these lines is sun, salt water, and sand. That combination, right? So one thing that you want to do is if you wear one of these like I do every single time that I go out, because I'm surely going to be towing somebody at some point, is to make sure that you clean these guys with copious amounts of water. Come home, don't just throw it in a pail and let it soak for a second. Take it apart, rinse it out, and then drape it out so that it can dry. All right, I usually hang these over my boats on my trailer for a couple of days, and then when it's dried, I put it back together again after I inspect it. What I'm doing inspection-wise is I'm making sure that the carabiner, the clip in the spring steel clip in the carabiner works so that it positively engages and locks the gate. I inspect my knots, I inspect my mini cell float at the back, and I run my fingers down the actual length of the sheathing on the polyline to make sure that there are no tears or abrasions that would weaken the strength of this. These lines are at the 1/4 inch size, 1/4 inch diameter, rated for a tensile strength of, I believe, 1,300 pounds. So that's under tension, it will fail at 1,300 pounds or above 1,300 pounds in a laboratory condition. That's pretty darn strong. So again, the things that destroy these over time is grit, sand, salt, and sun. So those are things I can definitely mitigate, and I can get a lot of seasons out of this. I'm actually on my 3rd season now of this line. So I just run my hands down it, run my hands down it, making sure that the actual kern mantle or the sheathing on the outside is patent and no abrasions or tears. And now I'm actually ready to return this bag to service. I look at the end, I make sure that the knot, my 8/8 knot at the back is good. I make sure that the bungee system is good. It's got these 2 detents, which are stainless steel. I'll show you how we actually crimp those when we make our contact point rescue device. I check the webbing that it's sewed into, and then ultimately where it joins the bag. Making sure that the clip on the end, I've had these fail. I make sure that this closes and locks. I make sure that the ball's on it, and there's a good stopper nut at the bottom of this guy too, because I have lost these as well. So then once I'm done, I go ahead and fold the bag back up, and it's in my kit and ready for service. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for the support. I want to say thank you to Timeout Sports, one of my sponsors, and also the folks at Wilderness System Kayaks. All right, see you guys next video. Any questions, concerns, comments, go ahead and drop me a line in the video at the bottom, or send me an email, give me a call. Like the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. That way you get new content. See you next video. You're still here? All right, awesome. Wanted to throw one other thing out there. You know, we talked about this guy today and went over some of the high-level information about this bag. A video like this is not a substitute for training. If you already own something like this and you've never used it before to its fullest, definitely owe it to yourself to use it in conditions to make sure that you know how to deploy it, retrieve it, repack it, and then do it again. If you're new to water rescue and you'd like to get some quality training, I'm definitely going to put a plug out here for myself. I've been doing this for years. As soon as we get through this COVID-19 event and we can start working at one of my favorite spots on Johns Island with partners over at Trophy Lakes, we'll have access to a really, really great freshwater resource where we can work on towing to your heart's content and put this on and see how it actually feels. A video, like I said, is no substitute for real world application. So I just wanted to close on that. Have a great day. See you guys at the next video.